how the mighty have fallen. In today's stream live, we are going to speak about what has happened to the senior players in this Arteta squad and why are we so weak. Welcome to FFTV. Welcome to FFTV, people. Hope everyone is doing good and I hope everyone has had a great week, regardless of the diabolical performance from Arsenal last night and also Man United. What a terrible, terrible game of football. It was like watching two teams in the bottom of the Premier League. The quality was dire. Performances were dire. Individuals, just dire. Nothing I'm going to say about any more of how bad I thought these players were. I've seen a lot of YouTube streams today, etc., etc. And everyone has very, very different views. What this channel does and what I do is I want to break things down and give you the knowledge and analyze why players are doing certain things, why they are not doing certain things, and how can we move forward. I'm not going to come on here and I'm not going to rant with give you no substance. I'm going to tell you what I think, why it's happening and why it's not happening. And yes, rightly so, a lot of people are very frustrated today. But the reason I didn't go on Curtis's channel yesterday, after, etc., and things like that, because emotions make people get blinded and look at the wrong things. So, firstly, hope everyone is doing well. Really, really do. That is the main thing. Health and wealth. Well, how can I put it? Health and wealth. What was I going to say then? Health and wealth will... Health without wealth, still great. But health and wealth, obviously good for you. So, everyone is emotional. Everyone's very emotional about what's going on today. But what I did earlier, and it was so good. I did a members stream and King was on the stream. And King's knowledge is in the chat now. It's like he's played professional football. His knowledge of the game is spot on. And I think a lot of stuff that I see on YouTube and that is just rash decisions, emotional bias, opinions. And we're not about that here. We're not about that. If people are about that, they can go to different channels because I want people to try and get educated on what we're trying to do here. You won't see me ranting, partying, dancing outside stadiums and things like that. What you will see me is giving you in-depth knowledge about the game. And if that means that we don't grow nowhere near like other channels, then so be it. But that's what I'm in this game for. Nothing else, not clout. Nothing else. This is why I'm in this game. So we need to get a few things quite straight of what we're seeing as fans. First of all, because I think we're just all over the place as a fan base. I really, really do. So we'll talk about the game. Let's be honest. In fact, no. I want to make sure everyone is well in the chat. So how is everyone doing today? Let's have a look. I know a few of you was in Curtis's chat. Sulak is saying, why are senior players struggling under Arteta? It doesn't make, whether it's Pepe, Laka, Partey, Abba, even Ødegaard. I mean, Ødegaard, 22 years old. He's 12 months older than Tavares. He's played a lot more games. So I get that when you're coming from that. But, you know, but there's a reason for that. Then this is why I want to go in depth. Those players are not bad players. But there's a reason that those players don't click. It's all down to the team setup, all down to the team, all down to the way that we are set up as a team. Salman's put, soon we'll see Abba in the stands alone with a Lamborghini umbrella shading himself from the sun. Fred Davids had MOM performance yesterday. Arsenal fans today are fuming over Aubameyang liking Ronaldo's post on Instagram. Well, it's quite funny because Fred was horrific, but was the best midfielder. Elneny was probably the one that kept it simple, but the standard was terrible. And listen, when it comes to Instagram, what people have got to understand is these footballers may not, and a lot of time, don't run their own social media. So this is why, you know, everyone's going having a meltdown. It may not have even been him, you know. Big up the community, big up Hendon. And say, good afternoon, Fran. I'm watching in the chat. What's that noise? The noise of the wheels starting to come off Arsenal season. Don't say I didn't call it. You said it a long time. You're never going to convince me. Our senior players go missing far often against the big game. Same old story. King, unbelievable stream earlier. well, I mean, your knowledge is frightening. Big up, Fran. Nice chat earlier. Big up the community. Big up yourself. Jesus has put, we're weak because we have no ambition. Edu said it himself. There's no target. I do believe that. It's a mentality thing. Everyone was emotional about it. Richard Reed is saying, big up, Fran. I feel like our senior pros have been missing the streams with work for a while. You've been missing the streams. Hey, listen, it looks like the pros have been missing the streams. Never mind anyone else, I could tell you that. Fran, I'm straight in. Erdegaard was balling yesterday. Shocking tackle, but my issue is why he has to backtrack to even make a tackle. It's a joke. Well, some people were saying that Erdegaard wasn't good, including Curtis. And I was saying, we've got to watch the game again. He only made one mistake, which was the penalty. And he gave a good free kick away. But everyone has different things. And we're going to touch on the Erdegaard because King gave a good point earlier. When we get through the teams, King gave a good point that even I wasn't really aware of or really didn't look at it from that point of view. So, but we'll go into that. All good here, Fran. Leg day in the gym. The gains are coming big time. Love that. Just finally decided to get back on a proper routine. Well, not routine, but hit the gym, hit spin, hit gym as much as I can from now on. So thanks for inspiring me to get back on it. It's normally the other way around. SK's put, Fred is the worst Brazilian player I've ever seen, but there's only one team who can make him look world class, and that's Arsenal. Yeah. I could tell you that. I could tell you that. Even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, obviously Grant is saying it is embarrassing what is happening at that club. There is no leader from the manager to the senior players, 100%. Munz is in the building because Man United won. Evening, Fran Curbglass saying, my opinion is this. Arteta might possibly be able to manage a ready-made team, but I seriously doubt he can build one from scratch. And I do truly believe that. I think players that would... But then again, on the flip side, players probably wouldn't even listen to what he's saying if they were ready-made. So... interesting times for both clubs, by the way, for both clubs. Man United are taking action and trying and moving them the right way. And we're just steadily ticking along, hoping that something happens, I believe. Arnie's put afternoon all. Fourth place has gone begging this time. Still minus no goal difference as well. I'm not happy about it. Listen, I said we'll get 8th. If we're lucky, we'll get 6th. But, you know, there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. Good afternoon, WTT. Ollie's in the building. He say, why are our players always doing madness? Why would Abba like that pick? Maybe he does not run his social media account. A lot of them don't, but I'm not too sure. Fran, I think Arsenal could finish in the top half. Yeah. Here we go then, people. So, the game. Quietly confident that we was going to nick something from the game. I said that before the game. I had a little bit of a feeling, and I was actually very excited about this game. I think there was a good feeling around because both teams maybe are doing awful. There was a little bit of a good feeling around about this game. And when I seen the team, I got to admit, if you watch the stream, I was quite happy with the stream. I could just, with the team, I could understand why El Neni was in there because Partey's been horrific. And I could understand why I brought Erdegaard in there, because he would get more space than he was going to do against Newcastle, because it was going to be a more open, expansive game, which it was more open, expansive game. But so the approach from Arteta, I understood. However, what I didn't understand was how we didn't press. Now, if you caught the streams a few days prior, a preview, I was saying I was caught in between whether I would press high or whether I would just semi-press. Which means I wouldn't sit too deep to invite pressure, but I wouldn't do a high line so our back four would have problems in behind. When I then seen Man United's lineup, I instantly thought, we need to press high here. Their weakest point of their team is their back four. We need to press high. Maguire has been struggling with injuries, but Maguire is very good when he's fit. He looked fitter last night, but we didn't really cause them or ask them any questions. So the approach for me was very conservative. And I thought El Neni was in there and Partey, which would have protected the lads at the back, because that's how modern day football is a little bit now. You have one or two protecting the lads at the back. And then we would have the likes of ESR, Erdegaard, Martinez, who I thought was excellent, considering out of a bad bunch. And Aubameyang would try and press high. Problem is, for whatever reason, we're not pressing high. And this is where the problem comes in. Where your ESR, where your Erdegaard, where your Martinelli, where Martinelli works hard, so we're okay with him, and he's a young kid, so people kind of let him off. And Aubameyang's, they got no chance of scoring goals. They got no chance of scoring goals. And if they do get a chance of scoring goals, they're going to have 1 or 2 chances per game. Aubameyang's used to 5-6 chances. Aubameyang is not a 2-chance centre forward. Aubameyang does not have that in his locker. He's not that type of centre forward. He needs 5-6 chances a game. We don't create that way. We don't play that way. We don't play that type of football. So from an approaching the game stance, I thought we got it all wrong. I thought we got the tactics all wrong. This is a weak Man United team. Very weak. Goodness, but no matter how awful United are, I just knew Arsenal would be the usual accommodators and gift the game to United. And we'll do it again on Monday against Everton, who have not won in 7. I mean, Everton are dire. Absolutely dire. So if we don't beat them, then all of a sudden, people have got to be asking questions, because they've got off lightly recently because of this limping through this 10-game run with no substance, and we fell on a formation that worked for 4 games, then it didn't work. Partey's performance was the worst, and Xhaka went off against City. Partey's performance was disgusting, and what I see in our fan base is, which is fine by the way, because we're all human. No one's right, no one's wrong. But what I see is people have favoritism to certain players. So, for example, if Partey's as bad as Xhaka, because it was Xhaka, it's not that bad. Because if even at times, if Pepe is as bad as Saka, it's not seen as that bad because it's Pepe. Ødegaard's seen as a certain superstar, and people expect him to win games on his own, so people are harsh on him. I think we're just looking at our players, which is normal, in a way that we're not concentrating on what the actual problem is and where we are as a football club. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Let's have a look at a few of the comments, because I know a lot of people will be. Make sure you hit the like, people, by the way. Make sure you hit the like. Robbie's put, I think Partey needs another good midfielder next to him, 100%. Remember, he's played his best football next to Xhaka, not making excuses for how bad he's been recently, but he needs someone next to him, 100%. And who would have thought we would have missed Xhaka? And I always say, be careful what you wish for. When everyone was on Wenger's back, I said, be careful what you wish for. And now look, and people are talking about get Aber out. Be careful what you wish for. Abba should be playing MLS League. We smoked Everton at their ground. I think we'll beat Everton. I really do. Senior players missing. No, a senior manager is missing. Why are we making a big deal out of senior players not playing well when a baby manager is controlling them? Yes, but also senior players do need to stand up. They do need to stand up. Even in bad teams, senior players stand up. The manager ain't going nowhere, so he's here for the long run, unfortunately. So now we need to find a solution of why the manager and the players are not in sync. That's what we need to find now, because the manager's not going nowhere. So we need to find a reason of why we're not in sync with certain individuals. Where was I? Barbados Man United fan. Hey, by the way, I've not seen you all Munzi for months, and now you're in the chat because you beat you because Man United won. Fran, does Arsenal need a new strike force come next summer? Lacazette is leaving and Aubameyang may be sold. Certainly Saka and Martinelli are not the answer. No, we definitely need centre forward. And I'm going to say something here what I don't particularly like, but I'm real. The way we play, we need a centre forward type who's an old-fashioned centre forward. No glitz, no glam. Not exactly stylish. But that's the way that we play. Get crosses in the box. Hassle, might get a goal. Andy Carroll style. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Tammy Abrahams. These type of centre forwards would probably do well in this Arsenal team. If you're off the shoulder guy, if you're technical, if you're coming to feet, if you're looking around the corner, you ain't doing well in this team. And that's something that needs to be recognised. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're a technical player, from front to back in the Arsenal team, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. The lads up top, I actually feel sorry for the players up top. And I don't know whether that's strikers union, because I would hate to play in this Arsenal team. hate to play in this Arsenal team. It's dire football from back to front. We've got a ball playing centre half in a team that we don't play that way. Now, the argument is they'll say, yeah, but that's what we're building. This is an instant results business. We are not a non-league club trying to get out of the conference into the Football League and building from there. We are Arsenal Football Club. And they've treated this project like we are not Arsenal Football Club. And I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this project I don't think it's going to work. I hope it does, but I just don't think it's going to work. I really, really don't. I really, really don't, people. And it's slightly worrying. It's a Danny Ings, Giroud. I mean, Giroud is perfect for this team. Giroud, well, this is what we need though, Ashton. We need a player like that. A basic, hard-working type centre forward. You know, hard-working. We don't need no technical player who comes short and fancy and all that. It won't do well. It won't work because we don't play that way. Aubameyang is completely lost. And by the way, Aubameyang can still score. But we are never getting the old Aubameyang back. One, he's got older. Two, he's got more money, which loses desire. Three, the system kills him. So we are never getting the old Aubameyang back, people. So you might as well forget that. So when people say he's done, he's not done as a player. But his best years are done at Arsenal. His best years are done at Arsenal. Because you're not going to get him back. He's not all of a sudden just going to go back to being, lightning and 28 years old. That doesn't happen. So we're not getting that back. So we need to start thinking how are we going to get a certain type of a striker? What type of striker do we need to go into this team? And how's it going to work from back to front? That's where we're struggling, people. That's where we're struggling. Fran Ødegaard, yeah, he's my favourite Arsenal player. Yeah, he's my favourite player by a mile. He's the type of player that I would have in my team. And we'll go through the team. We'll go through the player rating soon, and then we'll get to a good point about all the players, but especially one about Ødegaard, which King brought up, and I thought it was a fascinating point. I really, really did. So for me, for performance as a team, it was just dire from front to back, from back to front. It really, really was. This is a bang average Man United team where we could have just gone by the throat. They were so weak. And we allowed them to just do the thing. And people talk about Ronaldo. Well, but Ronaldo's 36. He could hardly move. And he scores a penalty, which is a penalty. And the second goal, to be fair, this first goal is good finish. It's good play. We can't take that away. But you got to mince him up. Gabriel's got to mince Ronaldo up. I thought Tomiyasu did well with Sancho and Rashford. And Tavares is Tavares. Told you about Tavares. Tavares is Tavares. He had good 3 games and he'll get found out because he's clueless. He'll get found out because he's clueless as a footballer. So... But we'll get through that. We need a senior manager. We need senior manager to take... We need, and you make a good point, H7. For this project, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is, right? You need an experienced guy who's maybe done it before. So when people talk about a Ragnick, for example, he's built those kind of things. He has a proven record of building things. We want to build this new generation of players, this new way of thinking, with a manager who's never had any experience in anything. Never mind building a football team. He's never had any experience in anything. He's just been a coach at a team that plays tiki-taka football, the best football in the world, in my opinion. How do you coach that? How do you coach Bernardo Silva? Except, by the way, when you lose the ball, just run. When you lose the ball, just run. That's all you got to say. Can't say that to El Neni. Can't say that to Partey because they're not on that level. So we've got... It's like the wife driving the Lambo and she's just passed the test. It's like the wife driving the Lambo and she's just passed the test. Would you allow that to happen? I definitely wouldn't. that day ever comes, that blessing ever comes where the hurricane's outside, she ain't driving that car until she's got experience. And that's the problem that we've got. That's the problem that we have got, people. Really, really is. I just want to make sure that I don't miss any comments. Elliot saying you need a striker. Step forward, Yusuf Al-Nesri. Speed of Abba and hold-up play of Laka at a reasonable price. Good option. Would it work the way that we play? Big up Fran Bless. Why is it when you lot win, it's Arteta, but when you lot lose, it's a player? So weird. Listen, you know I'm not about that life. I used to say that about the Man United fans. When we win, it's Arteta, and when we lose, it's Arteta. But I have to talk about the individual performances before I then go on to Arteta's naivety. But that's fans based because that's bias, Marvo. It's bias. People are biased. People are emotionally attached to football. So they're very biased. They always say, convince a man against his own will and you've already lost the argument. And it's very, very true. It's very true because he hates you anyway, even if you prove him right. He hates you anyway. So you've lost the argument. That's the problem with football. Everybody thinks that they know the best about football when there's only ever 3,000 professional footballers at one time. They know because they're in the business. The managers know because they're in the business. Do they get things wrong? 100%. Should they change things? 100%. That's why they get sacked. But they know better than any of us because they're in there. They're in there. Mrs. Green ain't driving. No. If it gets to that, she can get a G-Wagon or something like that. There ain't no way that is happening. No way. And she's a star. But I don't care if she's a North Star. Nah. Oh, Barbados, but if you don't get your striker, would you sign a goal-scoring midfielder and play false nine? Listen, Barbados is... people can't play false nines and it be good unless you're only one team. There's only one team who's done it. No one else can play that. This false nine, people are getting it twisted. You can't play a false nine unless you've got serious players. Serious players. Because people get lost. They're like, well, where's the focal point? Who do I bounce the ball off? Jerlanko Scamacci from Sassuolo. Saulo would be perfect fit for us. Tall, great finisher who can create himself and is only 22. Obviously, Vlahovic is very, very good for the way that I think Arsenal want to play. But he's not even picking up the phone. He's got Eddie and Ketia settings. No one's picking up he's not picking up the phone. What I learned is that Martinelli has to play every game if he's fit for the remainder of the season. I don't know what he's not playing. We know what Martinelli's about. I don't think he trusts him. If Arsenal would have been at home, they would have pressed and would have won 100%. Arteta decided not to press away. Was always going to be a penalty or decisive stupidity against the press while we lost. And the reason is because the quality was so bad. It was like a game full of errors. Fran, we are creating enough scoring chances. Ødegaard and Smith Rowe are not the answer. Now, Nicholas, I get this. We are creating chances. And Ødegaard and Smith Rowe are good players. And Aubameyang can finish. And I believe Partey is a good player. However, we don't have the team for all these individuals to click. We've always said it. You put Ødegaard and ESR in different teams and they look $1 billion. You put Partey sitting in front. You put Partey in Man City's team. Everyone will be thinking, oh my God, he's the best centre midfielder. It has to be cohesive as a team. And we don't have that. And that's the problem because we're building. So we're building. You renovate your kitchen. You renovate your house. It takes time to do. And nothing is in sync until it's done. In sync. Did you get that? Sync. Until it's done. That's the problem we're going through. And we look terrible. But have they turned the corner? Listen, we're on the same corner. We're on the same corner as we won when Arteta was in the job. We're on the same corner. We're just going up round the corner and then no, Someone's round the corner. Bad man fully ballied off. I better drop back round the corner. Is he gone yet? We'll pop round the corner. No, they're still there, mate. You can't go on that corner. It's not your corner. And then we drop straight back off that corner. That's all we're doing. That's all we are doing. That's all we are doing. It's, honestly, you don't want to be depressed because you're trying to get a balance. But you got to say, listen, no matter how much you try and stick up for the players, no matter how much you try and stick up for the manager, to try and for the way football is or whatever, it comes to the point where sometimes you say, you are not good enough for what we are asking you to do. There becomes a point where you just have to say that is the case. And there's certain players who have been on runs of 10, 12, 15, 20 games where they have been bang average. We've seen the odd one thing, and you think, and not only that, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Yeah, hit the like, people. Hit the like, people. Really do appreciate that. Morris Pecker's coming to say, yes, Fran, we are only Big Six club that lose a game without having been put to the sword, and it gets me so vexed. You know what? We're going to lose Big Six if we continue. Big Six is only going to stay for a certain amount of time. What happens if we finish below 10th? Can you imagine? When Gerrard became manager, he surrounded himself with experienced guys. Beale, McAllister. That's what you do. If I was to get a manager's job, I would be phoning a couple of the older managers or older coaches that I know and say, listen, I'm the face of this, but I need a top team. I need a team that can communicate with the players, where I can learn things every day. That's how we're going to do it. We don't even know Arteta's team. We don't even know who these people are. And I'm like, the game yesterday, when we're getting ram ragged, and Partey keeps giving the ball away, and Aubameyang misses his chances, which forwards are going to miss, and Tavares is consistently getting caught out of position. I don't see no one on the touchline saying, come here. X, Y, Z. This is what we need to do. Don't see no one. No one. Don't see absolutely no one. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. It really is. Absolutely crazy. Big shout out to Jack, who's just become a new member. Big love from Jack. Always supports the channel as well. I know obviously you're busy at times, but I appreciate that. No message, just become a member. You're not going to get a message in there. Get a message in there. So big shout out, Jack. Yeah, you can see it. Obviously, I've just seen it last minute. So big respect, Jack. Welcome to the community. Get Raul Jimenez. Proper centre forward. Meantime, he'll give us good 3 years until you get the next man. Yes, lads. Big shout out. S. Wade. And saying, I can't see us getting a win out of the next 6 matches. FFT crew is growing. We're growing, people. We are growing. Steadily but surely, we are growing. Jack's put, last night was just disappointing and was a real missed opportunity with how bad United were. It was a missed opportunity. It was a very, very, very big missed opportunity. I've got to say that. It really was. Hi, Fran. Shout out from Singapore. Big shout out to Singapore. Arteta probably has taken us as far as he could, just like Ollie did with Manchester United, perhaps sacking Arteta and getting someone like experienced like Rolf Rangnick type. Listen, I think he ain't going nowhere. We know that. And especially if we lose to Man United. But he's going to have to go on a terrible run to get sacked. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me, people. He's going to have a terrible run. Enders put, Gerrard has been at Villa 2 weeks and he gave City a good 2 weeks. But you know why? He comes in, he's got authority. He knows how to... I'm not saying Arteta doesn't know how to play the game. He's coming with a purpose. He's coming with a team. He took over a struggling team. He's probably stripped it down to basics. This is how you play football. Bam, bam, bam. I think Arteta is asking these players to do way too much. How can I top 4 players who are all very talented not have sniffs only in games that they're going to have sniffs? Now, Aubameyang's not on form. He's lost it at the moment. A lot of people are asking to drop him. And I get the argument. And for other players, they'll be knocking on the door. Why is Aubameyang playing? But we ain't got much better. We ain't got... In fact, have we got better? Have we got better? Some people were saying Martinelli down the middle. You can't do that to Martinelli. The dynamics change completely. Martinelli needs to be out wide, get the ball, and run his man. And then he comes inside as well. If he stays central, it's a completely different game for him. He is a player you don't need to tell too many instructions to. There's a lot of players that if you give them too many instructions, they go missing. Martinelli is a player, listen, get the ball, express yourself, burn the fullback. Go and get me a goal. That's all you've got to say to Martinelli. That's all you have to say to Martinelli. Because he's not intelligent enough to take loads of instructions on. Keep it basic. Very, very basic. Partey, get the ball on the back foot. Look for holes. Ødegaard, ESR, Martinelli. That's your job. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. But we don't. We're overcomplicating it. We're overcomplicating it. To become a member or not to become a member, this is a question I must be getting over, people. Take your time. Listen, we had a great stream today. Only King came on, but we'll have a lot more the more members that we come, like I say, to support the channel. But you take your time. You take your time. I don't remember West Ham being clear favourites against us. Never. Listen, they are at the minute. Fran Ødegaard is bang average, man. Soft player. There's no reason Madrid shipped him out quick. I don't think he's average. I think he's a very intelligent player. He made one mistake last night, scored a very good goal, and gave the ball away once in the game and made one mistake. And you know what? I'm going to speak about Ødegaard now. He's hard done by. Because people think he's a certain player that he isn't. And the example I'm going to use is Pedri. Pedri is one of the best midfielders since Iniesta and Xavi I've ever seen. Ever seen. All right? No goals, no assists. So people, because the game's changed now, people look at goals and assists and think that's how you judge players, all players, or attacking players. Ødegaard is very much in the mold where you're expecting him to do something wow. He's not that type of player. You must understand the qualities of why he is playing and what quality he has. He's not going to be the 10 that everyone thinks is on FIFA. And a prime example of that is Pedri. Never gives the ball away. Well, gives the ball away, but very rarely gives the ball away. Doesn't shoot, doesn't assist. He's the best Spanish youngster in the world at the moment. He's the best youngster in the world at the moment. Now, I'm not saying Ødegaard is a Pedri. What I'm saying is we're looking at the wrong things of what we want Ødegaard to do. We're looking at what type of player he is. Ødegaard is not the 10 that everyone has in their mind. So I think people judge him on that. Now, when he's poor, he's poor. I tell you all the time. When he's poor, he's poor. But when he's good, you can't say he's poor. And yesterday, he was one of Arsenal's better players. He never gave the ball away. He scored a very good goal. He worked hard, and he gave a penalty away. But people are not seeing it that way. And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just trying to educate whoever watches this video or in the stream on we need to look at Ødegaard in a way as what Ødegaard is, what type of player Ødegaard is. He is not that wow, take the scruff at the neck, take the game by the scruff of the neck, number 10, assist merchant, goal merchant. He's not that type of 10. He is a cog in the middle of a big watch. And that's his role. So I think people have got the wrong idea of what type of player Ødegaard is. And it just gives you an idea or food for thought of to take something else into consideration. I just thought, because me and King were talking about it earlier, and it was a very, very good point that what King made up. So, if you know what I mean, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say without sounding patronising. You know what I mean? There's a method to the madness of what I'm trying to say. For example, when a Mason Mount plays 10, Mason Mount is a guy who's going to get assists and going to get goals, but he's not the guy to keep moving, keep the ball moving. He loses the ball a lot. There's completely different roles in the type of, just like a centre forward. Not all centre forwards are the same. Firmino might score 10 goals a season, but Klopp will play him every game if he's fit, if possible. Do you get where I'm coming from? Amir Leski couldn't hit a barn door, but he was one of the best Premier League strikers at what he did. I just think we're looking at Ødegaard in a way that is not right to look at him in that way. Everyone just says, well, he's just brought in to create. He's not just brought in to create. He's definitely not brought in for goals. I can tell you that for sure. You know, definitely. Frank Global. New strikers challenge Abba for the start. We definitely need a new striker. Definitely need a new striker. Balogun, give him games. He's not ready yet, Salman. He's just not ready. And I think it would be unfair. What stream was King on? Have I missed something? Oh, I sent it out to all the members social. I sent it out earlier. We had with the members on. Just King come on because I bet a lot of people are busy at 1 o'clock. I put it in the community chat as well. So we'll do another one. Of course, we'll do another one for members. We'll do one maybe once we get going, like, you know what I mean? So probably in a couple of weeks, depends. Listen, it could be random, but yeah, it would have been good to get you on social. And I know some people are camera shy. So just come on and just do your audio. Just come on and do your audio because I can learn something from you. They always say you can learn something from every single man and person that you meet. I can learn something from you. I learned something new today from King of how to look at certain positions in different ways, you know? Elliot put, well explained, Fran. Curtis always says if Ødegaard was the City team, he would be a superstar doing what he does. And he would, but he would go unnoticed. By the way, Gundogan goes unnoticed. Every so often he just come up with goals. But his job is not to score goals. Certain players, you know, football is not as simple as what everyone thinks it is. It's a very, very complicated game. Because if it was easy, we'd all be professional footballers. Look how many people want to be professional footballers and only ever 3,000 in England at a time. And I bet 25% of them are from overseas. So it tells you the chances of being a professional footballer and remaining a professional footballer. Well, you got more chance of, you know, being one of the world's best surgeons if you really want. You know, you got better odds probably to do that. Robbie's. Oh, sorry, I've just gone off that because I like the Ødegaard questions because it helps me understand as well where you're coming from. Why did we buy Ødegaard if he don't score or assist? We needed a goal scoring midfield. Very good point. I said we should not be buying Ødegaard. We should not be buying him. Because he's not our type of player. If you go back to the streams, I said it could end up in tears because it doesn't match. It's not the match that we need. It's not the match that Ødegaard needs. But we brought him in. You know, Ødegaard is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It ain't gonna work no matter how much you dress it up. I don't see him in our team when we hit heights again, Fran. I don't see no one in this team when we hit the heights. No one. Can tell you that. No one. It said you were going to do a stream, but I couldn't see no stream. Yeah, so I put the link in the members chat. Well, in the community chat, members only. So you should have seen a link. And then I was just waiting for you to come on. Next time, listen, next time. There's a reason why he didn't come on this one, social. There's a reason. He probably would have got banned or something. Fran, would you take Origi at Arsenal? I would. He's the perfect type of striker that would do well in Arsenal's team. Work hard, get the ball in the box, bosh. He's the perfect type of striker. I'd love to come on some point. Definitely. Listen, if you ever want to come on and we can have a chat, I do record them, but they don't go on YouTube, but I do record them. So if you ever want to clip anything, if you want me to send you anything, then listen, do that. Just do that and let me know when we'll do the stream. We did the stream today. We'll figure out when we're going to do it because I want to do it quite often for the members as well. And we can have a debate and get 6 people on and talk about things. And I'll ask you questions and things like that because it's important that the community builds and gets to know each other as well. That's important. That's what we're here for. We're here. Some people come every single day and it helps them, you know. It helps them. Kingsport, Arsenal fans used to 10 like Cess, Santi. Yeah, that's what we used to. We used to assess Santi and Ozil. Odegaard's not that type of player, and I think that's why we've got this fan base issue with Odegaard. France City was awful against Villa. It's crazy, isn't it? But they've got the player to just make something happen. Villa will do all right, I think, under Gerrard. They just needed something. They just needed a little lift, didn't they? Didn't really work. Fran, Partey, Saul and Odegaard are La Liga players and being exposed in the Prem. Could not disagree. La Liga players are very different and can find it hard when they come to the Premier League. And I tell you why. Some people say, oh, well, just the league's better. It's not about the league's better, because technically the league is terrible compared to the Spanish league. What the Premier League is it's less about tactics, the Premier League. And it's more about energy and work rate and desire. Foreign players are not used to that. Foreign football is like international football. It's very slow. It's very technical, intricate. So when a Saul, by the way, who was a top player, or an Odegaard, or let's name some other, a Veron. Look at Veron. Players like this. When they come to England, where they would normally get the ball off defenders, and then where they would normally release the ball to a centre forward, because it's very, very different, those options are not there. So they dally on the ball and give the ball away. So then people say that player's poor. It's because they're not used to that. They've been educated. They've been educated to play a football. So you imagine, say for example, you build cars. You build Bentleys. You build Bentleys, okay? And big shout out to Curved Glass for the super chat. Big respect. Always supports the channel. Unbelievable support. Appreciate the channel, Fran. Listen, we've got this channel. I know you come on the Green Mind channel, where we talk about everyday things and life. I don't know what we're going to talk about every week. I never know what we're going to talk about, but the Lord just sends me something and we speak about it on over the weekend, maybe a Sunday night. So your support is unbelievable, and your input in the channel is just helps us compound. So big shout out to Curved Glass, really do appreciate it. So going back to foreign players, you imagine building you build Bentleys. You build Bentleys, hand stitched down at Crewe if they've still got the factories down there. Everything's hand stitched, walnut top marble dashboard, and you build it a certain way, and you're so used to standards. You then leave there and you go and get a job at Ford. No disrespect to Ford owners, but you then go and get a job at Ford, yeah? And what you're used to is not going to happen. The standards of the staff, the standards of the rotor, the standards of everything, the finish, the work, the machinery, it's not going to be the same. You can't function. You're poor at Ford, but you're great at Bentley, and you leave Ford. Everyone says it in Ford, God, he came from Bentley, he's a waste of time, he don't know what he's doing. Same as football. Same as any workplace. Google, Apple, Amazon, I don't know, Nike, Adidas. I bet you that it happens all the time. And it's the same with sports. Foreign players find it hard because it's technically a lot less. Tactically, it's a lot less. But it's a lot more physical and a lot more aggressive, even though it's not as aggressive as it used to be, a lot more aggressive than the foreign leagues. You look at the game yesterday. The game was awful. Partey, we seen players give the ball away unopposed. Watch the Spanish league. Watch the Spanish league if you get an opportunity. Players don't really give the ball away that often. And then you see it when international football, you can't get the ball off them for 20 minutes, It's funny old game. It really, really is. But that's why we have these discussions and these streams so we can bounce off each other and really start to understand why players are not happening and why it's not happening, etc., etc. So we'll finish on Aubameyang, right, people? And then we'll go into player ratings quickly. We'll finish on Aubameyang. In fact, no, we'll go through player ratings. Right, we'll go through player ratings, all right, people? Ramsdale, what we're giving Ramsdale? Player ratings, what we're giving Ramsdale? Ramsdale first. Let me get my pen out here. Ramsdale. What we're giving Ramsdale? Till we get in the chat. Throw them in the chat, people. Come on. Throw them in the chat. Throw them in the chat. Didn't have a lot to do. Has come under a little bit of stick that maybe you should have saved Bruno's first. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think it's a little bit harsh. I just think it's very close to him. And by the way, they always used to say, hit the ball near the goalkeeper's feet because they can't get down. I used to think, what you on about? Because if you put it wide, they can get there. If you put it low and near the feet, they can't get there. So I just think I'm going to give him a 5. A lot of people